Hello. It is important from time to time to refresh yourself with the knowledge and wisdom given to us by those from our past. And it's also important to recognize that the conditions we face today, because of the banker government military complex that is hell bent on destroying the economic viability of almost every sovereign nation on planet, it is important for people to understand that they have the power, or we have the power in our hands to change the situation, that we don't have to bow down to demagogues and false prophets that rule the world today. But it is also important to realize that during times of great economic stress, such as the times we are facing today, that the demagogues and false prophets in power will try to use hatred to divide us and to conquer us. So certainly during hard economic times, we always see a proliferation of hatred, and I think we're seeing that again today. But hatred is the elixir for the weak. It is a waste of time, it is a waste of energy. When only united, we have a chance of changing our future for the positive. So love and positivity are the elixir of the powerful, and that is what we should focus on. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use hatred in a positive way, but if hatred and anger are what you are feeling in response to this economic crisis, then you need to work on transforming that into a force of positivity and not to let that anger and that hatred eat you up. So it is a total waste of time to be hating on people all the time. Rather use that positive energy to transform yourself, and that way you can help people unite. Now, false leaders and demagogues today have really increased the passivity of men, especially men. I'm not saying this doesn't afflict women too, but especially men, in response to all the criminality that they're imposing upon us today. It's amazing to me that people have not risen up in revolt in response to what I see going on all over the world today. And I believe a lot of this has to do with the demagogues in positions of power today that have injected passivity in the masses of zombies through academic, institutional academics. They have taught people passivity through making subjects like consumerism so important to people. So they have screwed up people's values about what is truly important in life. And it kind of reminds me of this scene from Fight Club, one of my all-time favorite movies, when the leader, when Ed Norton's character, it's Brad Pitt's character in the movie, gave a homework assignment to his Fight Club, and that was to actually go out and to get into a fight with another human being and then lose. And then what ensued was just hilarious comedy, because no matter what the Fight Club members did in the movie to try to goad another person into a fight, another man into a fight, like shoving people, knocking them over, spraying them with water, nobody would get into a fight. They would just run away from the situation instead of standing their ground like a man. So I think that scene, to me, was a great analogy for the emasculation of men today and what has happened, and how the demagogues and our false prophets today have kept us in check and kept us from revolting. So, you know, they have completely emasculated men from the hunter status that we had through millions of years of evolution, when it's been in our DNA to, you know, to hunt, basically, in the times, you know, coming from the primitive times when we had to hunt for our food on a daily basis or starve. That is basically entwined into the double helix strand of our DNA, but yet we have lost that because of what the demagogues have taught us over centuries and centuries of time, and how they have ingrained in us to be passive. Now, I'm not saying, like, you know, in the movie, it was just over frivolous thing. I'm not saying that one should fight over frivolous things, but certainly when you have something to stand your ground for and to fight for, like today, I believe that people need to get back in tune with their, raw, primeval instinct to hunt and to fight again. And that is what is necessary. And one thing that I would like to impart to you, that was imparted to me by my martial arts sensei, was this. He would say, when you're in a situation, when you're struggling for your life, never let anger enter the equation. Because he said anger will slow down your reaction time. It will cloud your judgment. It will cause you to react in a way that is not most efficient nor most beneficial to you, and it can get you killed. And even though he was talking about physical confrontations that we were getting in life and death situations in a physical sense, I think that advice definitely translates to the life and death struggle that people are in economically as well, that we can't react to that with a visceral, emotional way. You can draw upon that, like I said, draw upon that primeval instinct, your hunter instinct to fight back. But you have to learn to temper that and to channel it in a positive way, because if you don't, then it's going to boil up and manifest itself in anger that will divide people. So all you're doing is destroying the chance we have of building a better future for the next generation. So you need to channel that in a positive way, because that is the only hope we have, is if we stand united. So without further ado, I'm going to now give to you the greatest, most relevant speech ever made, which was made nearly 75 years ago. And if you want to know from which film this movie came from, I will put the link in the video description below.
I'm sorry, but I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world, there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves. but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!
Hopefully you found that speech as inspiring as I did. Don't forget to subscribe below by clicking the subscribe button, and please share this video with family and friends if you found the video inspiring as I did. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care.